When life ends, a new journey begins. No god shaped that journey more than Anubis, of the dead, master of mummification, and the silent judge of the human heart. Anubis wasn't a god of fear, as modern depictions depict him. He was a god of transition. Egyptians trusted him to guide them to the afterlife, the field of reeds. With the head of a jackal, an animal often seen near tombs, but he's a jackal, not a dog. Anubis symbolized vigilance, loyalty, and the thin line between decay and preservation. His role was precise and sacred. He oversaw mummification and guarded tombs and prepared the dead for judgment. Where other gods ruled storms or sunlight, Anubis ruled the quiet spaces of the tomb. Embalming table, and the scales of truth. Anubis' most iconic duty was the weighing of the heart ceremony. He placed the deceased's heart after ripping it out. He would place it on the scale of truth against the feather of Ma'at, M-A'-A-T. I think it's pronounced Ma'at because that's how I hear it a bunch. So that's what I'm going with. But then if it was heavier than that, or if it was heavier, then that means that it was weighed down with sin. But if it was perfectly balanced, then that person got to go into the afterlife. He was the impartial force that showed who you truly are, because the feather could see past whatever lies you've told, and could reveal the truth of who you really were on the inside. In early Egypt, Anubis was the only god of death. However, when Osiris became the god of death, like we mentioned earlier, he stepped aside with dignity to become the ruler and protector, or the protector and guide, rather than the ruler. But this wasn't a demotion. It was a transformation. Anubis became a specialist, the guardian of the tomb, the one who ensured the dead reached Osiris. He was quiet with strength beyond the throne of the afterlife. In the Crane Chronicles, he's not depicted as an evil monster like most modern depictions. In fact, he's one of the people that gives Sadie Kane, one of the main characters, good advice. And also has this weird relationship with her because they both like each other. And he's a god, he's immortal, and she's a teenager. I think like 14. So, yeah, fun. But it gets crazier because in the second book, she finds another boyfriend, and then later on, he dies and becomes the host of Anubis. Yep, that makes things a little more interesting for Sadie. Just in the myth, Anubis isn't loud or violent. He just snows in the storm, the guide who watches and weighs and protects. Embalming table to the scales of truth, and even to ancient tombs, to modern relationships. Anubis remains the god who guides us through the unknown. If you enjoyed this journey into Egyptian mythology, then like and subscribe so you never miss another episode of Rydersucksatmythology.